We're live. Hello. I'm Amanda Call, and I'm going to be drawing. Today I'm working on continuing penciling this page from I Am the First. This is chapter 3, page 6. Last week we got everything roughed in, and we started getting the pencils a little bit more refined. And now I'm going to continue trying to finish up these pencils. So that's what we're doing. I want to see all the chat, please, YouTube. Thank you. All right, so if you were here last week, you will recall that this particular figure was giving me a lot of grief. I tried it and erased it many times, and then ultimately just walked away because I couldn't get it to go quite right. So what I've done in the meantime, I'm gonna erase some of what's on there. What I've done in the meantime is I actually posed and took a reference image. So I'm going to pull that up so we can see what my reference image looks like and see what kind of works here. Let's see. That's I think that'll work. I made my husband pose holding a candle because I didn't have a beer bottle. So, all right. So this is what you do when you have a particularly tricky pose. You can either look for a reference image online, but sometimes that can be really hard, especially if you're looking for a really particular angle. Sometimes the best thing to do is to just make your own reference image by making somebody pose for you or doing it yourself. I very often, when I'm working at home by myself, will just set up my camera and take a selfie or set my camera up somewhere and take a picture. So that I know what this is supposed to look like, what something is supposed to look like when I'm having a hard time visualizing it. Knuckles kind of in a line there. His hands up a little higher in this, so we're just gonna drop the elbow down a little bit. Like that. Okay, so I have a much better idea of what I'm trying to do here now. I'll zoom in a little bit on that hand to get some of those details. Now, it's one of those things, once you do this, sometimes it's like, oh, why was this so difficult? Once you're actually looking at it, you're like, why was I having such a hard time with this? Yes, exactly. Spud. I have so many. Spud says that they have so many random pictures on their phone because of this. Exactly. I have many random pictures on my phone of myself making goofy faces or just holding objects. A lot of photographs of myself just holding objects. Because it's like, how do hands and objects work? I don't know. Let's find out. But that's good, because now we've got that last missing piece of this panel. Well, not quite. There's a couple more things that need to be in this panel, but I kind of walked away from finishing this panel because this pose was being so difficult, making me disgruntled. Lots of hands. Lots of hands. All the hands. All right, I need to. Now that's a much better looking hand. It looks like he's actually toasting with the beer bottle. All right, I need to pull up this scene from last time. I did not do this before the stream started because I don't know. I just didn't think of it. So I gotta pull that up so I can look at it, so I can remember what these guys look like. Bring this over here so I can look at it. Hey, Hungry, thanks for joining me. All right. Also gives me an idea of what's like in this bar, in case I don't remember everything that's in the bar. All right. This guy. Clean up his face a little bit here. Popping in. Hey, thanks for joining me, Higgins. Appreciate that. Need to fix his cheekbone. It's like wandering off. What is it doing all the way over there? Come back over here. All right. This guy's got a little nicely trimmed beard. His hair's kind of combed back from his face a little bit, like such. So these are the same barflies from chapter 2. If you've already read that, it is out on all of the internet comic places. So it's available on Drive-Thru Comics and Amazon and Barnes and Noble digitally. So if you haven't read chapters 1 and 2 yet, you totally should. I think that we're doing a pretty great job, if I do say so myself. Oh no, I did his collar wrong. That's not what his collar looks like. It's just one of these dealies. Doesn't go down all the way. Okay, this is why it's important to hold this stuff up. Do you have character sketches of all the background characters, and just go back and look at how you drew them the first time? It's a mix. Sometimes I have the foresight to actually like make a character sketch to reference. I did a few of them with like the students in the school, because for the first 2 chapters there was a lot of time spent in the school and there were a lot of like background students. And I did want to make sure that I had a pretty decent stable of them to draw from fairly consistently. And very often, too, because they weren't the focus of a panel, there would just be like a shoulder or like the back of their head or something. And so I did do a bunch of those. But I don't always remember to do that. And then I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll just keep looking at what I already drew. Like, it is smart to have a reference sketch, but I don't always remember to do that. And then it becomes a certain matter of when you get to that point of, like, you've drawn them for one scene, and then you had to go back and draw them again for another scene. It's like, at what point, how many scenes are they going to be in? Like, how many times should you just keep going back and looking, versus at what point should you make, like, a model sheet to look at? So kind of depends. All right, we need the bottom of this kind of shrimpy bottle there. There we go. Okay. So there's those guys. I think there's like supposed to be a table or something over here. Same thing with like with environments, is that there is supposed to be a table over there. Is that depending on like the setting, I'll draw like a floor map, and sometimes I will not. And it kind of depends, like how much are we going to see this space, and like how many scenes are we going to have in this space, and also like when we're in this space, how much are we really going to see of it, like what's going to happen in the space, and therefore how much do I need to really like plan and have figured out. Because there's one scene, like there's one setting that this chapter takes place in that we spend a lot of time in, and so I wanted to make sure, and it was a fairly like complex environment, so I wanted to make sure that I had a good idea of where things were, and so I did an actual like floor plan of that. Hey, it's Hop Art. I'm good. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. What is these weird stray lines here? They're just not erasing? Okay, that's fun. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, so now this panel up here is done. Let me just double check. I think I got all the things. Oh, he's got like cargo pockets down here on his jacket. The little flaps on the cargo pockets do not have the little folds, just the bottom. Just the bottom. Are they on both sides? I don't remember. Yeah, they are. Okay. It's got pockets all over. There we go. Okay. What are you using to make your perspective grids? A roller and a blue pencil and a pink pencil and a red pencil and an even more bigger ruler. It's my yardstick plus. It's like a yard and 5 inches. And tape to hold things still while I'm making the grids so that the paper doesn't scooch. And yes, the super ruler. And also, my secret weapon for making perspective grids is actually my desk. This is an antique drafting desk, and you can see the top is made from a bunch of like pieces of wood that are all laid in parallel, so it has lines. It has guidelines on it. I always put the masonite drawing board on top of it because it has like cracks and stuff, which makes it not very great for trying to draw on normally, like as far as the surface itself. So I always put the masonite drawing board on top of it, but I move this out of the way and use those lines that are on my drafting table as my like guidelines for where I line up my horizon line, and I'll like mark it with pencil, or I'll pick like a weird like spot on it as my vanishing point. Hello, Bug. Thanks for joining me. Black fly. The black flies are out. It's spring in Maine. It's great. Right? I don't usually do the perspective grids on stream because I have to like put my camera like up nearly on my ceiling to be able to really see what I'm doing. So, but if people are interested in a perspective drawing lesson, just let me know in the comments. I swear I will actually make pre-recorded videos again someday when the thought does not fill me with dread and exhaustion. Whenever that actually happens, I'll start doing them again. You saw your first mosquito today, Higgins. Yeah, exactly. Top art. They are. They're so sometimes they're like really, really far away, and you'd have to get a pretty wide view on the camera. So, and then I'd have to like clean up around my desk because it's generally not very clean around my desk. And Hungry says that he would very much like a perspective grid video. I can do some basic perspective videos. I'll do that eventually. I'm not gonna like tell you when exactly because it really depends on when I have the wherewithal for more video editing. I use my French curves all the time. I hate the Flexi Roller. That thing sucks. But I do still have my set of Stedler French curves, and I talk about using them all the time when I'm inking on here because it always made me mad that they always told us to use them but refused to ever like explain how to use them. So every time I have to use one on here, I explain how to use it. Because for some reason it was just like, use a French curve. Hey, how are we supposed to use a French curve? Well, you should know that already. I'm not going to waste time teaching you that. What? What is that? All right, this is the barkeep. His part is on this side of his head. What's going on with Don's face there? He's got a weird long face there. I'm going to have to fix that. He looks very weird. Looks very weird there. A Flexi Roller, I have one somewhere still, but I don't have it handy because I don't use it. It's basically like, so it's got like, measuring marks like a ruler, but it's made with like a flexible like metal coil core and coated in like rubber. So the idea is that you can use it, like you can shape it to whatever shape you need to trace, and then it'll like mostly hold its shape once you put it there because it's like got a wire core. So you're supposed to like, oh, I want to make like this curve. Okay, well, I'm going to bend the Flexi Roller to match that curve. And then you can also use it to like measure curves and stuff if you need to for some reason. And that was all like well and good in theory, but I never found that they worked terribly well. And it would always be like you would go to actually start using it to draw something and then it would move. It's like, that's not great. Yeah, it was too flexible. It would like, you'd be trying to like guide along and it would be like, oh no, I lied, scooch, and smear your ink everywhere. I did not like that tool. A lot of whiteout, all the whiteout. So much whiteout back in those days. All right, and we've got got his other hand there. He should have his little bar towel on his hip here. Let's see, he's grabbing a bottle of the cheap stuff. We're going to need some other bottles over here because it's a bar. There's a bunch of them. I might be able to get away with just one. give you the general idea. We got glasses in the little mini fridge back here. We've got there are some shelves down here that I never like put anything on, but they're there. Okay. That's a little bit more. I still have to figure out what's wrong with Dawn's face. I don't know what's going on there. It's looking very weird and elongated, so we'll have to try that again, but that's fine. Lots of booze. It's a bar. Collar. Clean up some of this underdrawing here. So how is everybody doing? Hope your week has started well. Anybody have anything fun and exciting going on? Clean up this bottle a little bit. That bottle is kind of enormous. I think we're gonna fix that. I think we're gonna make it 2 bottles. We're gonna have 1 bottle here that you just see the edge of. And then another bottle here. Skinny little bottle. What is happening with that bottle? What is that shape? Really late to the game says, not me. Nothing going on. Nothing. That's okay. Been busy with spring stuff, planting things and raising animals and all that fun stuff like I do every spring. And it's May, which means that it is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, which means that Great Strides is happening this month, which is from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, their big annual fundraiser. And I try to always participate in that. Our team is fundraising right now. So if you go to like the Great Strides page, then you can find, if you just search for my name, Amanda Call, under Find a Walker, you'll find me. So we're fundraising right now. The CF Foundation helps to research treatment for people living with CF so that they can live longer, healthier lives. My niece has CF, which is why this is a thing that our family does every year. And part of what I do is that I raffle off a piece of original artwork. So every time that you donate $5, that gets you another entry into the raffle. There's usually like a regular like walk event, but I can't make the regular walk event because it's the same time as my nephew's birthday because there's just too many things going on. So I'm doing the virtual walk, which means that rather than having to walk like 5 miles, I have to walk 65 miles. Which I didn't quite realize when I signed up for the virtual walk. And then I was like, wait a second, you want me to do what now? So once I have reached the end of my virtual walk, which will probably take me like about a month or so, then I will hold the drawing. So that gives you some time to make a donation, get your name into the raffle. And let me show you what I did for a piece of original artwork that I am raffling off. It is this painting. It is a painting of a rose. I usually do a red rose for this, but this time I decided to do a purple rose because I thought that would be fun and different. So yeah, it's a nice little 6x6 painting of purple rose on a ridiculously deep canvas that I ordered by mistake. So you can just like stand it up on a mantle. You don't have to worry about hanging it. It'll just stand there. It's pretty great. Yeah, so that's what you can enter in the raffle to win and help support a good cause. If you so desire. And Spud says that Saturday, they're flying to LA to see the Cruel World Festival where Devo is playing, and then you go to New York City to see Devo. What? I didn't think that they did shows like anymore. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so the whole thing with roses and the CF Foundation is that because cystic fibrosis is difficult to say, is that they teach little kids to say 65 roses so that they can say what they have easier. So that's why the 65, that's why I have to walk 65 miles. And that's why the roses is a theme for CF advocacy and awareness. So and I'll put a link in the video for it for the fundraising page. But like I said, if you just go to the Great Strides website and search for my name, you'll find me. And I posted links on all the socials today. So there's that too. All right, he's got his little fist there on the bar. They need to an app that acts as a hub that lets you just post to all the socials at once. I mean, a few different apps have like tried to have that functionality. There was TweetDeck and there was If This Then That, and I think there were some others, but I don't know. I think the problem is that like all of the various socials are constantly changing so fast that none of those things can really keep up or stay relevant for long. I used If This Then That for a while, but it was kind of buggy and it did things goofily. And so I stopped using it, but then it kept posting even though I deleted it and was like, stop it, go away. So I don't know what that was about. Okay, there's the shelf under the bar. It's dark there. I gotta figure out what's wrong with Don's face. What's going on, Don's face? Let's fix Don's face. I'm gonna look up another image, another reference image, so that I can hopefully get a better idea of what Don's face is supposed to be doing here. That's not the thing it's currently doing. That's a good image. We'll go with that. Okay. I'm going to sharpen my pencil a little bit. I'm running very low on this particular piece of blue lead. So. Okay. think his nose got a little too long there. I think that's part of the problem. That's looking better. Mustache. And his head is bent down, so some indication of that with the that's better. That's looking a lot less. I don't know what was going on with his face earlier. I don't know, but that's looking much better. That looks very weird. Is that right? Does that look right? I feel like it looks right when I'm looking at it in the screen, but it looks weird when I'm looking at I don't know, I just need to walk away from it for a minute. Hey, Story Comic made it. So glad you could. I don't know. It just looks very it's like the opposite of what normally happens when you're looking at it normal and it looks fine, and then you look at it in the mirror and you're like, oh no, it's wrong. I'm looking at it normal and I feel like it's wrong, but I'm looking at it mirror flipped on the screen and it looks fine. That's okay. I'm just losing my grip on reality. That's all right. All right. We've got some baseboards and we've got a picture frame back here. And we already have the mirror and the liquor shelf. And I'm going to just firm up these glasses, fix the perspective on them a little bit. They were looking a little flat. And a mini fridge. And if that's the floor, that means we still need to add more baseboards. Is that the floor? That can't be the floor. Perspective. That can't be the floor because the floor is up here. So if we follow this line of the floor with this perspective grid line, oops, it needs to be up here. So that needs to get fixed. That just doesn't quite work. Better. Not great, but better. Okay. We're going to call this panel good enough for now. Moving on. Happy little accidents. Yeah. That's what the perspective grid is for telling you that's not how that's supposed to be. glass here. All right, I do need to look up real quick what is going on with my exposure levels here. What are we doing? I do need to look up real quick, what does that little pour spout thing on a liquor bottle look like? Because I don't know. Let's see. I don't have any of those, so liquor pour spouts. Liquor pour spouts is a thing. Sometimes the worst part of trying to Google something is not knowing what the heck you call it. Okay, so there's different styles. That's confusing. Okay. Yeah, I'm finding lots of different styles because some of these are like short and some of them are like kind of stumpy and curved and some of them are kind of long, like you would expect to see on like an olive oil bottle. I think we'll go with just the classic long pour spout. That seems to be like probably the most popular of these. We'll go ahead and go with that. So we've got the neck of the bottle. We've got that little lip around the end, which of course is going to have to be threaded because this bottle did at one time have a cap. It's just not being used anymore. Looking a little wonky still, but I'm going to clean that up a little. Okay, and then the pour spout is a little bit wider than the lip of the bottle because otherwise it would fall in. But then it's just kind of a long, straight dealy. Some bubbles coming up. It's splashing a bit. Can make that more of a circular splash situation there. There we go. There. Look at that. Now it's a lovely drink being poured. Cool. All right, now we have this character back here who's making some kind of snarky comment while this is going on. What time is it? It's 8:40. Making pretty decent time. right. This guy, his name is Rodney. Not that it's super important, but he is referred to in the last chapter as Rodney. So he does have a name. What is happening with his hat? What's going on? His head's down here. Come on now. Nope, that sleeps too long. All right, he's roughed in. He exists now. Now we can make him a little bit more solid. Erase some of these scribbly underdrawing lines. Clean some of this up a little bit. The corner of that cap is a little bit square. They don't usually look quite that square. Sharpen again. What else do I have going on? I have fundraiser. Jeremy and I are setting up a new online home for all of the I Am the First stuff. So if you check out bravenewcomics.com, that is its big online home, and we're working on getting socials set up for all of those. So I know we have a Facebook page. I think we've established a Twitter account, but it's not doing anything yet. We've just made the profile. That'll be Brave New Comics. That's going to be I Am the First online home and also the home of other future projects. So yeah, whatever socials you're on, look for us there. All right. Yay. Look, another one's done. We can move on to the bottom tier. We'll see how close to done we get before time is up tonight. I don't think we'll quite make it all the way, but we'll be pretty close. All right. We've got Don glowering and drinking here like he does. It's basically just his signature moves, glower and drink. All right. All right. We've got to get his glowering little face in there. As I look for a good image to reference. That's a good one. All right. Sorry, I got quiet because I was concentrating. All right. That's okay. That's basic idea of what's going on there. We're going to clean that up just a little bit. And that'll be that panel. But we're on to the last 10 minutes of the stream. So it's time to do the YouTube things. And remind you, I'm Amanda Call. This is a page from I Am the First, which is a superhero story, origin story, written by my friend Jeremy Flagg, drawn by me. The first 2 chapters are already available digitally on Drive-Thru Comics, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Apple Books, I believe. I'm working on issue 3. It is a limited run series, so once we have 5 issues, we're going to be releasing it as a trade paperback, both digitally and physically. We did a Kickstarter for it a little while ago, so a bunch of people already have their name on one of these, but once it's out there, anybody can get it. Although at this point, yeah, anyone can just download individual issues as we go. get the first one, get the first two, see if you like it, if it's something you might enjoy. I would appreciate it. You can also often find me on here working on my webcomic Age of Night, which you can find on ageofnight.com. That is a fantasy webcomic. But I'm alternating between working on Age of Night pages and working on I Am the First pages. I had to do 2 I Am the First pages back to back because I'm finishing a chapter on Age of Night right now, and I didn't want to spoil the ending. So, but that'll be done in the next month, so we should be able to switch back over to Age of Night pages next. After this page is done in a couple more weeks. I do these YouTube streams every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, unless something comes up, but then I try to post that something has come up. But most of the time, I'm here Tuesdays, 8 p.m. So if you like this, make sure you like the channel, subscribe, all of the stuff, tell people about it, share social medias. And speaking of social medias, you can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at Age of Night. That's spelled AGEOFNIGHT. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Amanda Call Art. Yay, I did it. I got this panel done, and I still have a couple minutes left. So I'll start working on this one a little bit, but we're almost done here, so probably won't get super far. Just scoot down a little bit because this light is really harsh. And yeah, check out my fundraiser on the Great Strides CF Foundation website. Help make a healthier future for people living with CF. And check out the Brave New Comics website and socials, because that's where you'll get lots of cool updates about I Am the First. I think that's all the things. There's the edge of his bar stool. And a leg. All right. I think that is going to do it for this evening. At the start of the stream, we had everything roughed in. We had one panel that was most of the way down except for this figure, and I had started to tighten up this panel, but really none of the panels were done at the beginning of the hour. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels are completely done. I have one last panel that I am still tinkering away on. I have to finish up. Next week, we will finish this panel and we will start with the inking. Thanks, everybody, for coming and hanging out with me. I will see you next time. Bye.